All right. Well, yeah, I think as Dana mentioned, this is we are in a transition of um, all our engineering data to the BelQMS Sharepoint, and this will cover that. What is the transition SOP, as well as this engineering data management SOP, how we can have a standard practice of managing engineering data. Um, this includes hardware, software, firmware, and testing as well. So let's go into that. Let me cover the, if I can click this. Okay. Okay, so this, I want to put a caution here is this is a work in progress of for improvements and of course the folder structures. So if you have any things that you would like to change, inform Dana, and we can officially change it in the SOP. So there'll be a lot of questions, there'll be some things that are missing, but this is just a start for all of us. All right. Um, so currently all our data, engineering files, are in these three places. One is under Minerva server product development, and under product development QMS. That's what I have seen so far. And we have different project SharePoint folders. Um, by project SharePoint folders, we have several for each project. For Wisp, we have, for geodesic headweb, we have, for Neat, we have a SharePoint as well. I'm not sure what else we have SharePoint for. I don't think there's a BelAmp one. Is that correct, Roma?
No, there is a poem, SharePoint.
Oh, there is. Okay, I don't have access. So there is a BelAmp SharePoint as well. So currently it's all over, and we want to move one by one to our BelQMS engineering SharePoint. And the first project we picked was BelAmp 100. Um, I thought we thought that would be the easiest since it's just started and it's in decent shape. Um, we don't have we're not going to start yet on geodesic headweb or Wisp transition. Let's see how the BelAmp folder transition goes, and then we will move the other projects to do the BelQMS engineering SharePoint. So currently what I saw and what we decided was to move the BelAmp. Currently it was in the Minerva server. We have 3 versions of the electrical design and a few mechanical design. And I just copied those files over to the BelQMS engineering SharePoint, which is under our BelQMS, documents, product development, and BelAmp. And under BelAmp, there's 2 main folders, engineering and QMS. Within engineering and QMS, there is this subfolders. Um, and the difference is QMS is for mainly for all the documentation related, like requirements, manufacturing instructions, etc. So those will be up here. And the rest of the engineering files, while in development, will be located under the engineering folder here. So um, hardware and mechanical, firmware, software, and testing. So those will be up here. And the access for these folders, I think we have in a work instruction, right, Dana? Who can access
In
these
all engineers can access engineering folder.
Good. So all
So
engineers can
anyone can
access.
access QMS and engineering. For editing purposes, engineering is open for editing to all engineers, and QMS is not. It only access.
Good. So read and write access is available for all engineers for the engineering folder. Read, I believe read access is only for design history file, device master record, technical file, and final drafts. Read and write is available for work in progress drafts.
Yes, that's correct.
Good. So that is how we have access and restrictions. So for BelAmp, uh, I have copied from the Minerva server. So for electrical design, we have moved it to from the Minerva server to here, and the mechanical I have moved here. Currently, it doesn't have the correct naming convention, which I will just discuss a little later. But we just want to move these folders uh, here, and from now on we will follow the approved SOP for engineering data management that I sent via email. Um, any questions so far? All right. If there's no more questions here, then I'll go to the next one. So the projects will be transitioned later, or of course, as I mentioned, this um, head web flow, etc. will transition to the BelQMS SharePoint. Keep working on these SharePoints for now on the individual project. When we get to this point, we will slowly transition the other projects to our BelQMS SharePoint. For BelAmp, I think we can work from this BelQMS engineering SharePoint. So how to work within this folder structure, Dana has created this SOP, and it is located here under BelQMS SharePoint 0600 SOP engineering folders data management, which we will review now. And I want to mention there are other procedures as well and standards we up here. For example, Devon created a Bell CAD file format for mechanical files, a template that we can use for how to organize and create drawings. And Stephen Hasty has created similar libraries for electrical files for using Eagle. So there are some standard work instructions in this folder and templates that everyone can have access to and use that. And if you guys have any other standard and template we would like to use it, please inform Dana and she can put it in this folder. So let me see what I have. Okay, let me go to this work instruction or the SOP. So as I mentioned, this SOP, the main purpose is for how to organize and have a standard file name for our engineering files. Um, and it has responsibilities here. All engineers have read and write access, and all engineers should um, have used the same file name convention, properly revision controlled, and the engineering and project managers, um, they assign the roles and responsibilities and provide any support for these. And quality department regularly maintains and audits these folders on a regular basis. And as I mentioned, the engineering folder has the four main categories: hardware, mechanical design, testing, firmware, and software. And under hardware and mechanical design, we have these separate folders um, that people can populate. And same thing for testing, electrical testing, mechanical, and system usability testing. The firmware, I think it was set TBD. We haven't really, I think, thought about where to put the firmware. For software, our current engineering folder is GitHub. Um, and I believe we have a standard GitHub procedure. If we don't have, we should make it.
I don't think we have. At least I haven't seen it.
All right. Well, I will up for discussion later. Um, and this file name conventions, for our file name in these folders, for example, CAD file or testing document, we will have uh, somewhat as an example here, we will have the part name. What is the part name? And then there is a part number associated with it, and there is a revision number of that file name, file, or the document, and whatever the file is it a CAD file or Word document or PowerPoint, etc. This is the file name convention. So there's three separate categories here. If there's a Bell assigned part number, we will follow this format. If there is no Bell part number assigned, we will follow this format. Instead of a Bell assigned part number, we'll have a version control, like V01.2 for as an example here. And if there's any document, we will just have a product name, a purpose, and a part name, version number, and a date associated. So this can be for any testing document, for example, that we can have this file name convention. As you can see, there is a decimal dot between the left and right, which is denotes the major revision and the minor revision of these files and documents. Uh, I think those are the main things. There's one more thing, which is we have a version control table uh, for even CAD files or electrical files or engineering testing files. We should update versions in each time we revise, and we should know update what we changed in each revision. So there should be a version control table at the beginning of any document. I think we have currently for CAD, we have for the electrical files. Currently, we don't use it for any document, and we should implement this. I think those are the main things. Any questions on this SOP? Okay, so there is no questions. Um, and this is just a tip for a practical way to work is because SharePoint is a browser-based version, um, and it's cloud-based. So especially for CAD files, or if you decide to put firmware here, firmware or electrical files, it's best if you sync the SharePoint folders to your local computer and work from your local computer. And each time you save, it gets synced to the SharePoint. This is a very easy way to use it, an efficient way to use it. People can download from the SharePoint, edit it, and then upload to the SharePoint. That's also another way, but that is prone to errors. So I recommend to sync any particular BelQMS SharePoint folders that you constantly work on to your local computer, and then edit from your local computer. I can show how to do it if you guys have any questions individually. And then, oops. Yeah, and in general, the BelQMS SharePoint, how to, what are the general SOPs and work instruction are up here. So you can always read this. And John, I believe, has created a YouTube a recording that you can see. That's all I have for my presentation. So BelAmp, I just moved it. It's currently in this folder. For electrical, it is here. For mechanical, it is here. And from now on, we'll follow the same, the file name conventions and our formats here.
I just wanted to mention the retention policy that it wasn't written in engineering folder management system, but we decided that we'll manually transfer all the folders to Minerva to have it synced, to have the backup. And it will happen every 3 months, I believe. Isn't it, John?
Yeah, that's correct. As well as the audit trail information, which
Yeah.
per our licenses, we can only hold on to audit trail information for 90 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Any comments or questions? I know there'll be a lot of questions once you guys use it.
I have a question, Ishwar. So for projects that haven't been migrated to the SharePoint yet, should we go ahead and add documents to the SharePoint or to where that project lives currently?
Right. So I don't know. For example, Wisp. If you are working on Wisp, use the Wisp SharePoint currently. Don't use this Wisp under BelQMS SharePoint yet. The first project we are just transitioning is just the BelAmp. Once BelAmp is, we are happy with it, we will move the rest of the projects.
But a good point to start using the naming convention and implementing all engineering folder procedure. Even if you don't use the BelQMS SharePoint side, the documents you create, please use the naming convention we decided on the engineering folder management procedure.
That is correct. So yeah, that is a good point. So let's use the file name convention that it's listed in the SOP for all our files from now on. Even if it's just an evaluation file, for example, Evan, like sleep scoring validation you did presentation or Word document, let's create similar file name convention. So it's a best practice, and we'll put it in the SharePoint itself.
Okay, thanks.
Any more questions? If there's none, well, I'll just show you guys how I synced up the SharePoint. If you guys click the sync button for a particular folder, you can sync to the local computer. So I downloaded the whole project's SharePoint to my local computer, and it gets synced. And whenever I edit this document, it's directly uploaded. It gets synced with the cloud version as well. So this is a easy and practical way for using it. All right, if there's no more, we will end the meeting here.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Shwara.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Dina.
Thank
Take care.
Bye.